What up, you guys? It is Punksnugglybear, and we are back with some more F-Zero. We will be playing in the Queen League, starting off with Mute City 2. So this is going to be a fun little race here. Got everything going. Uh, as the leagues get progressively harder, or as you go down the list, I believe the leagues get progressively harder. So you saw how most of the maps started off with like Mute City 1 or Big Blue, and it's like, so we'll now be able to see the second or third versions of maps, and we'll have more introductions into different things. So a lot of Mute City 2, as you can see, has gravel on the side of the roads. I like calling the sand texture or whatever that is, like the gravelly texture. It slows you down. We have the big donut hole on the map, which is, I always have to slow down because I definitely know I'm going to wreck into the corner. And then you'll definitely be seeing a lot more of these little cotton candy jumps, as I like to call them, because they're the blue and pink, which reminds me of just like generic cotton candy. Shout out to Thrifty's Rite Aid brand cotton candy for the best ice cream ever. But I like, as long as I stay in first place, most of the time I have no problems with these levels. It's when I get into the pack or I accidentally bump into one of the extra NPCs on the levels is when I start getting really screwed over. Plus, I also like using my boost and the long straightaways when it comes to the finish line, because I know I get the most returned value out of that. And we are just swimmingly along, just dodging these guys, just being the perfect racer that has ever lived and has ever graced this track. I really like the outside of the track too, the patterns that they put down to give it a really unique feel, and then plus you can like see the city in the background, so that's also a nice little like level design. It being static but moving when you turn is probably one of the coolest things, and then it makes sense as a full like 360 map. I turned a little too hard on that one and just went straight into the wall. Also do like the physics when you bounce off something, you literally bounce off. You fly like at least like 2 or 3 feet back, and it's like, okay, no, you're good. But a solid first place, 2 minutes and 17 seconds for that race. A solid first place to start off everything going. I'm feeling pretty confident that I should be able to knock out this league. Hopefully all first all around. Port Town 2, so this one should have a jump off to the right like the original Port Town then, right? Oh crap. Okay, so this is one of the dangers of this game. You can be knocked out of bounds and just blow up. That's what happened there. I was knocked out of bounds and blew up. It's pretty crazy. Also, I got to boost there, but then fried the engines. Holy crap, almost happened to me again. So that's the one thing that I dislike about levels with jumps or any type of jumps. It's just like I'm probably going to die at least once or twice. I also like this level though because it has the electromagnetic like pink strips. I don't know what those specifically are, but it's a unique feel of like, hey, this attracts you to it and does damage. So it's like you're counter steering the entire way. So something that I haven't experienced in video games before this game, and something I don't think is really utilized too much in a lot of racing games. I know this isn't your typical racing game, it's your futuristic one, but I think this is where other games can expand and definitely provide some difference. I would love to see an F-Zero on the next gen games. It reminds me of games like Wipeout, and there was another one for like the PlayStation 2 that was had the futuristic racing to it. Just a few things that could be tweaked on it. I think the last good F-Zero game was on the GameCube, if I recall correctly. I think that was GX, and that had like the most up-to-date graphics and everything like that. So that was a pretty fun game. But I'm maintaining my first. Had a couple little dragons there. I hate these flashing ones because those mean they're critical damage and will burst if you hit them. And then I also hate when you're trailing one of those guys. But he decided kindly to move to the left like I was a police siren. But each level design on this game too also it provides challenges in ways that are different. Like uh, last level had the donut hole that what made it difficult. This level has the jump and the lines that pull you in that make it difficult. Also, that was a really good run with that 2 minutes almost even flat. Like um, that was really good. Um, and like it changes it up from hairpin turns to using area of effect. So like the gravel, there's ice on some levels. Things narrow, so it's like this one there you can sort of cheese the level and by taking that turn super tight. Also by not getting destroyed by each other. Holy crap! I pulled that one back in. But I also like how there is like the purple and pink like matrix code on the floor that does damage but you can hop over it. And then this is the first level that really introduces using the jumps to cut corners on each of the levels. So it actually encourages you to, hey, take this jump over the corner. Like take this jump, this one once again jump over the corner. You do run the risk of landing though into that the damage zone is why that, so if you time it out perfectly or you change your flight pattern mid-air, you should always be good. But it's like a lot of times, I think everybody also has this too. I have the gamer pose or the racing gamer pose when I do this. For a lot of the levels, I'm usually like leaning forward, elbows on my thighs, like leaning into the turns as I'm going because I'm just like, please, I need to hit this one. Please don't bounce off the walls, or like if I do bounce off in the walls, don't make me bounce crazy back and forth. So it's fun because it's the intensity of this game is it's mostly perceived. It definitely uh, like the speed, the uh, the enemies, everything is like perceived. It's like they did a really great job of making it seem like you are going super fast and like you are flying down these corridors. So it's I would have to say the designers, the makers of this game, really put the time and effort in to make just an overall great game. And that goes from just design to even down to the soundtrack. Like, I don't recall a lot of Super Nintendo games where the soundtrack itself was a standalone. Like, this, I listened to the F Zero soundtrack while playing other games just because it definitely gets me, I would say, at least more hyped. I'm definitely a lot more of like in the zone when listening to soundtracks of this game because it's got that very upbeat, the very like 8-bit tune, like just like it keeps me chugging forward. So a lot of the times, like even on newer games, their soundtrack really isn't defined into a game as much as I think F Zero is. And then this is a cool little area because this one has the ice effect, and I didn't really talk about that in my first playthrough of this. Is that the ice effect makes you slip? So uh, you'll see the ice effect being on the turns over here, and that like you'll see me taking a turn wider or yeah, a turn wider, or me trying to slow down because that will make you go out of the area and fall onto the white. The green guy just saved his. The green racer just saved his life right there because he got tapped out of bounds and then corrected midair and brought himself back. Like that's some serious CPU skill there. Actually don't think I've ever seen um, in game if you're trailing behind a CPU if they blow up. But once again, getting into first. Now I'll just cruise, take a little bit of the shortcuts. I also like how they implemented, not implicated, uh, that you have to use the jumps in some portions of areas to make yourself go faster, just to miss out of hazards on the floor already. And this is where my nightmare begins because I'm getting thrown against the walls. Definitely, definitely, probably going to need to heal up next lap because I'm less than half of my health, and yeah, and driving into a guy that explodes was probably not the right thing to do. Third place, here I come. But as long as I just don't bounce into anybody, take this corner nice and sharp, I'm feeling pretty good. Just have to beat purple over there. Use my boost, get at least some charge. Okay, so I have maybe a quarter of health, and banking on that I don't run into any walls or get thrown into a wall by CPU, I think I should be doing maybe okay. Flying a little close to the sun there, flying a little close to the edge. And this is where the beatdown begins. This is where I'm going to start to panic. Yep, alright. I'll take second. I'm happy with second in this race with a little bit of health there. Boom. Holy crap. Oh my god. What just happened there? Like, how the hell did I get first? That I I'm at a loss for words. Like, oh, like how did I get first? And like I bounced off of him and took first place. Sorry. Okay, that just crazy. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that and see like how that worked out. But I man, that's like I couldn't be more excited to just take first, even though second would have been fine. I'm a first place finisher. Um, but going to this level, it's funny. Like I just had one of the greatest moments, and then going into this level, this was my my like bane of existence as a child. I hated this level. Like I've never felt so much anger towards a level because I didn't know the trick of this level, and that was so frustrating because there is a ramp here that you have to clear, and it's a large gap that I wasn't used to the distance, and you wanted to maintain speed. Well, if you just hit the ramp at like just normal to top speed, you usually won't make it. And I never realized that when I was younger. When I first started playing when I was younger, it really decimated me all over the course because I was like, what the hell am I supposed to do? And then I realized that in this game, if you hold back, it increases your duration of flight and increases your trajectory path. So that when you hit that jump, you need to hold back or you're not going to make that jump. I also just got screwed there because I hit one of the yellow carts right before that. So even holding back, I didn't have enough life to pass that level. So we'll hopefully be able to give it another shot. Hopefully knock it out here without having to do too many of these go arounds. Or I'll get knocked out once again and lose all my lives and not be able to complete the Queen circuit. That's probably what's gonna happen. Everything else has been going so sweet. I got a sweet first place finish there. Nobody was around me, and then looking like okay, and yep, here we go again. So, you're going to watch me get to the fifth and final level and not be able to complete it because I'm going to keep getting knocked around at the final pigeonhole before the jump. This is this is why I said this. This was one of my worst levels as a child. Probably still one of my worst levels as an adult here too, because it really is tricky. If you're not like, that's why I say like maintaining first is a really big deal. Having nobody around you is a really big deal because one little bump causes a nightmare, causes a reset, and I'm just like, okay, I really don't need that. Also, my bad driving skills are a nightmare and cause resets sometimes. So maybe it's not just the game. Maybe it's me. I've been in denial this entire time. I thought it was always the game. I was always told it was the game, but no, it was always just me. I should have just been better. But I like that in that area they combine both the ice and like gravel effect so that you can swing out and then slow down. Hopefully this guy just stays off my back for right now because I don't need to bounce into him right before the jump. So right there, that was a little scary. Uh, but so far, also the funny thing is, it's like there's not a lot of hazards on this level besides that one big jump, and it's just mostly hairpin turn and then hairpin turn. I like they give you the option that you can cut through these big blue areas on these hairpin turns and just take damage like you were riding the wall. Um, because I think that's a smart decision to make. Like, it's easier to sort of like cheese the level and cut through than just drive around. Or for me, like I said, I'm not the most skilled F-Zero player. Somebody would probably come in and decimate all my scores and everything. I just find it fun to play and enjoy the game in itself. I think this is probably one of the most complete games I've ever played. So, and plus replay value. The replay value of beating your own score is always there. Like pushing yourself to get the fastest lap, pushing yourself to get a faster lap in each of the races. And that's why they have the time trials mode. And it's just like, okay, like let's do this. So far, final lap. I think I'm actually going to be able to complete all of the races and not have to worry about it. So if that does that, then that should be my next first. Uh, I'm I always hate the little like the warning that's like check behind you that's like, oh, there's a guy coming up, because it's like, okay, oh okay, almost killed myself there, and then boom, first place. All right, so rounding out the entire place, we got, I believe, first on all of them. We'll let this run for a few, but I thank you guys so much for checking in. I'm glad you guys got to experience me blowing up twice. And just like always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys do enjoy, like and subscribe, and you guys have a good one.